Hi friends, and welcome back to my crafty space. My name is Crystal, and today I am going to be working again in my traveler's notebook for my Traverse City trip that our family took last summer. So last week I started this book and I showed you guys that I just have a cover that I made with pattern paper and some blank paper inside of it, and then I just set aside a bunch of spreads to put together here on the table. This was a project that I actually designed and figured out all of the pieces right after we went on this vacation, but then I never had a chance to actually put the album together. So today I will be working on the next set of spreads. Last week we completed 4, so we've got this one about our breakfast spot. We've got our first winery that we went to. We've got a little visit to a cute little town and the ice cream parlor. So today I am going to be putting together the next 5 spreads in this book. Since we aren't doing anything digital, I'm just going to be here at the table assembling lots of pages together. So what I'll do is put you guys on fast forward, get everything put together, and then at the end we'll slow down to close you guys out. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so jumping right in, the first thing I'm going to do is clear off my space right here so I can start working on these pages one at a time. Now, I am working in an album where the pages are loose, so they are not connected at the spine yet. I'm actually going to do that at the end of putting all of this book together, which means that I can actually assemble everything on my desk in a flat area before I add it into the book. This makes it so much easier for me. I know other people, that people do this many different ways or assemble traveler's notebooks many different ways. This is just my favorite because I don't have to deal with bulk until I actually add it into my book. So that's why I do it like this. So what I've got here is a full page photo. And if this is the first time you are tuning into this particular album, when I am working on travel albums specifically that are going in a traveler's notebook, I love to follow a general formula. It just makes things easier for me, and I typically will do a full page photo on one side, and then on the other side I will do some kind of paper, like pattern paper, journaling cards, extra photos, but usually something that's got a little bit more going on than the photo, and then or than just a photo itself. Sometimes I'll do like a full page, like all the way across photo. Like I do sometimes change that up a little bit, but for the most part, I really love doing one page, a full-size photo, and one page, all the other things. So you're going to see that a lot as we move through these pages. Now for this one, I have not Pink Paislee. Yeah, it is Pink Paislee. Horizon collection from Paige Evans. I have a 6x8 pad that I just trimmed off to make them 4x8. Since they don't go all the way to the top of a traveler's notebook, which is 8¼ inches, not simply just 8 inches, there is a little bit of border at the top, and so therefore I decided to trim it off at 4 inches wide instead of 4.2 inches wide, so that there would just be a white border all the way around that pattern paper. Then I added my photos to there. I had a 12x12, so I bought the paper pad, the 6x8 paper pad, but then I also bought like 3 or 4 of the 12x12 pages, the ones that I really loved, or that had like cut aparts, that sort of thing. So one of the cut apart sheets was a whole page of frames, and so I trimmed out one of those frames and used that to go around one of my photos. That's where that pink frame came from. That was from an actual 12x12 paper that I had purchased. And then I just added a couple of embellishments. I have cardstock stickers from the collection, as well as some of the ephemera, like 2 of the ephemera packs, and I think that may have been all of the embellishments that I purchased. So I'm trying to think if I had anything else. I think that's it. So I've got like the florals, and then the like journaling bits and whatnot, and then the cardstock stickers. So I did add a label on top of a what do I want to call that? It's like a flower, but it's not like a mandala. No, I mean, I think it's supposed to be a flower. It's like a green flower sticker. So that way I could add in some information on where we were. Then to add these into the book, all I do is add some score tape to the back of the pages. I use 1/4 inch score tape for my for adding the pages into the book itself. For things like, you know, adding on my photos or adding on my journaling cards, those sort of things, I use 1/8 inch score tape just because I don't need as much to hold those down. I would normally use that roller tape there to add everything on, but that one that you see right there is my last one. I do have more heading my way in the mail, so hopefully those will get here soon, so I don't have to keep using score tape all the time. But for this whole project, I did, because I didn't have my roller tape yet. So that is why I'm using score tape instead of my roller adhesive. And then I'm saving that one roll of roller adhesive to add on some of the embellishments or things that have a bit of a different shape to them. So for this page, I have 2 photos. So one of them I printed in order to fit inside of that journaling card, and then I printed the journaling card out. It's a digital card from In a Creative Bubble. I just printed that out with the journaling already on it, added my photo on top. That way I wanted the photo to be photo paper and the card to be cardstock, just for the different textures. So that's why they came as separate pieces, or I printed them as separate pieces. So I added the photo on, and then I've got a little photo underneath that and a label underneath the smaller photo. So it's kind of like a layered look on the right side there. And this, yeah, all of these pictures were from a fair that we went to in Traverse City. So this album is our Traverse City travel album, and we went during the Cherry Festival. So these pages are documenting our time at the Cherry Festival. So again, I'm just going to add these into the book. I did also pull out a postage stamp piece of ephemera to add to my photo that is on the back of this page. So the photo of Aaron and Izzy in the the flying elephant ride. And in the bottom corner, I also added the emblem for the Cherry Festival. So that was added digitally before I printed it off, and then I just put on the piece of ephemera afterwards. So here we go. This background paper that you see here was from an original 12 by 12 page, so I did cut this one at the full size. So that is a 4 1/4 by 8 1/4 piece of patterned paper, and so there is no border around that one. That is why it's just from a bigger piece of paper, so I had the ability to cut it out to fit the whole thing. All right, so we are 2 spreads down. I believe I'm going to be doing 5 in this video, so we're 2 down and 3 to go. So we're going to start by laying everything out just like I've been doing. This one is another picture from the fair. It's Izzy getting like a balloon animal from a guy who was on stilts. And I took a picture of her and Aaron, and then of her like out in a field. Now I have a stamp set from Kelly Purkey. This stamp set is no longer in stock, but I believe it was called Festival. And it's got a bunch of words like fair and festival, and then some like rides and some other smaller words like art fair, or I'm trying to think what other, like town or city fair. I don't know. There's like all kinds of words for it. It's super cool, and I loved it. It was a perfect stamp set to get for me. My mom, for those of you who don't know, she is a entrepreneur, so she has her own business where she makes aprons primarily for children, but also for women. And she used to go to art fairs to sell them all the time. So the stamp set was perfect to document like art fairs and that sort of thing. She no longer goes to fairs or art fairs like that anymore. Now she's just purely online, and it works better that way. It's not as hard. Working art fairs is really, really hard work. If you've never done it before, it's really hard work. But yeah, so we used to do that all the time, and in fact that's why we were even in Traverse City this particular weekend, because she had a booth at the Traverse City Art Fair. So the picture of Izzy in the grass was like us hanging out behind her booth. Anyway, that's besides the point. So the reason I had originally gotten that stamp set was to document those types of things. But it's perfect for also attending fairs like this. So I have this this stamp that fits perfectly in that top section that just is the word fair. Now I've got like an outline and the fill stamp, and I decided to just do the outline because I felt like, you know, it was dainty enough that it didn't like, I don't know, I just felt like if I used the fill stamp instead that it would have just been too overwhelming for everything else that was on the page. So that's why I just only use that one. I think it looks fine. I went through my ephemera packs and also found a couple of different things to add. So the picture of Aaron, I've got a globe that I added right above their heads, and then there was a sticker banner. I'm trying to remember what it says. There's a sticker banner that had like a title on it that I'd put on top of the world right there. So yeah, so that was spread number 3. So my goal when it comes to albums like this is to keep things fairly simple, or as simple as possible. I also limit my supplies. So like I said, when I went to purchase pieces of this collection, knowing that I wanted to use it for travel albums, I purchased the 6x8 paper pad, a couple of the 12x12 pages that I really liked and could use in their bigger form, the cardstock stickers, and then 2 of the ephemera packs. I don't actually use a bunch of the florals. I think I will use those later and maybe create like a wreath type spread with them. Maybe I'll do that as a Sunday sketch or something like that. So those I didn't use as much in these albums, but the rest of it I really did. And I also, so a lot of times I will create travel albums for my parents for things like their birthdays or Father's Day, Mother's Day, or Christmas or anniversaries. So I like to do that for them because I know that it's a gift that they really like, and that they always ask for. And it's, you know, something that I love to do is make albums. So since Aaron and I don't travel a whole bunch, it gives me reasons to make travel albums in order to document their travels. Anyway, so I also made an album for Traverse City for my mom using this same collection. So this is the second album that I'm getting out of the supplies that I had purchased, and I don't even use them all. So I'll have to think about ways that I can use the rest of this collection because, you know, I always like to try to use up as much as possible. So this one, I had that giant picture on the left. This was a brewery that Aaron and I went to. We are really big craft beer fans. So usually when we go on vacations, we always try to find a couple of breweries to visit and try out their stuff. So that's where we were at. It's called Right Brain Brewing Company. And the right side, I just had a journaling card and another smaller photo of the inside of that brewery. So again, super simple, added some embellishments, not too much, and, you know, had that one be done. So this next one, what I wanted to do, I like to save as much ephemera as I can from my vacations. So when I go places, I will often pick up maps or brochures or business cards, whatever I can for the places that we go and visit. Then when I go to put these albums together, I like to go through that stuff and figure out how I can incorporate it into the album that I'm creating. So this little piece that you see me working with right now was a map portion from a magazine that I picked up. And on the map is the location or the city that we stayed at. So this picture right here was taken outside of an Airbnb that we all stayed in together. So my parents, Aaron, Izzy, Jonah, and I, we all stayed together in an Airbnb. And the little map shows, you know, the town that we were in. So what I am going to do is create a small pocket at the bottom. Up at the top, I will add my journaling that just talks about the place that we stayed. And then I have a little picture of Jonah and I. And what I will do is add adhesive to the 2 sides and the bottom. And then I can slip the map portion in and out of that pocket. But it's really thin. So what I am looking for right now is something that I can back it with in order to give it a little bit more stability, but also, you know, it's just the back of a magazine, so there's like nothing really cool on the back of that little piece, so that way there's something better on the back instead of just a little piece of magazine. So I pulled out a couple of different embellishments that I liked. There's this heart that's like a world heart up at the top. I think it says favorite place or something along that line up at the top, so that I will adhere there. And then I also pulled out some different stickers that I liked. So I've got this little green sticker that I believe I'm going to layer up with the world sticker, or it's not a sticker, the world ephemera piece, the world heart ephemera piece. And then I also pulled out some tab stickers. So these ones are from Studio Calico. They're gray. And I really like them. They're a sticker, so all you have to do is add them on and fold it over, and then you've got your tab. Sometimes I'll add a staple just to make sure it's all like adhered really nicely, but I didn't want to add the bulk to this, so I won't actually add the a staple to it or anything. So now I have found a piece that I like to go on the back of my map. So I adhered that down, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the tab on there so that we can see where on that square photo this piece needs to go. So I like to do this in order to gauge where to add my adhesive. When I've got the pocket down on the page, what I don't want to happen is I don't want to put my ephemera piece behind it and to have it go down so far that I lose it. So that's why it's important for me to add adhesive right at the bottom of where I want it to go. It just makes it stop wherever, it makes it stop so that that little tabby piece is just barely poking out. And it makes it easier to grab and put things back. So that is why I waited to add my photo until after I had that that little pull-out piece all assembled together. It just, lets me know what to do there. So we're going to add these two into the book now. And I believe that these are going to be the last ones for today. And this also puts us halfway through the book. So you can see now we're going to start working on the right-hand side of this book. Okay, so that finishes up our spreads for today. We'll do a quick flip through here. I'll do a slower one also in a second, but yeah. So let's go ahead and slow you guys down to close out. All right, friends, so that finishes up these pages for today. I'll do a quick flip through here so we can see all of the different ones that we worked on today. I am super loving the way that this album is coming together. And I'm loving using this traditional scrapbooking collection from Paige Evans to create this cohesive album. I hope, if nothing else, that these videos can help give you guys some inspiration on using some of that more traditional product in albums like this. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up down below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can see all of my future crafty videos. I will be back again next Saturday to put together the next set of pages in this album. In the meantime, I do have some other videos coming your way, so keep your eye out for those as well. Until then, I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend, and I will catch you all in the next video. Bye now.